guys, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. Today, this is a video, this was one of camera guy Kurt's ideas for this video, so blame him if you love it, and blame him if you don't. What we're really going to show you is just kind of day-to-day chores, a little bit of what I do on a daily basis, because this isn't a once-a-week thing. I know we do once-a-week videos, but you can't just check your snakes once a week. You really need to pay attention to them almost on a daily basis. You know, you need to come down, you need to just check a few things, check their health, do your basic chores. This is the middle of our breeding season. I shouldn't say middle, it's kind of getting more towards the end of actual snake pairings. We are still pairing animals. So what we kind of do is, I don't know, I'm going to kick our step stool out because I don't know if Kurt's going to want that when someone's out to check or not. He may. We're just going to kind of go through and kind of show you our day-to-day chores. So, you know, I like to check this rack. This is one of our adult female breeder racks. We won't check this one. We're still setting it up. I always start at the top so I don't miss anybody. Just kind of take a peek. Make sure we got water. Make sure the snake looks good and healthy. There's nothing weird going on. Make sure there's no piles of poop I need to get to. She looks a little thin. That's normal. She just came in. So we kind of expect that. Check this girl out. Looking good. Again, there's no major piles of poop. A little bit of poop. So we'll go ahead and just get that out. Yeah, I know it's gross. I do it by hand and I disinfect when I'm done. So everything looks good in there. She's also a little thin, but put the weight back on. She's our other snake that's already laid. We'll get down here. You can see we have a male paired up. Now the male's in the shed. We're going to go ahead and pull him out because this is the time we're done. We'll put him back in his house, which gives me a good time to kind of take a peek in there. Looking good. Might put a little more water there in a few minutes. And here we got some interesting stuff going on. We have a shed first of all. Throw that away. You can see we also have some urates, so we'll clean that up, and that could be them spraying around from breeding, things like that. Now, really important this time of year too, when we have those sheds. That's what I thought. There's turd in there too. Turd. Usually there's a shed, there's a turd. It's the only bad thing about coconut is it does tend to hide the turds. So we get all that gross stuff out of there. Alright, we also are logging our sheds right now. The reason being is, somebody did, well, I got you guys on camera, and he's filming her, is we're in the middle of breeding season again, so that very well could be a pre-lay shed. If it is, I missed ovulation on her. Happens sometimes. So I think there's one more shed before she lays. I think she's going to be kind of a late bloomer this year on that. And again, we use that app to track all that, so I just need to put that in there. And my phone goes off while we're filming. Believe it or not, that's a YouTube comment. So I'll go ahead and say, Jonathan Alvarez, I'm just going to bust you out right here, man, since we're filming and you commented while I'm filming, but you had no idea you were doing that. So, Jonathan Alvarez just said, hey guys, awesome video. I'd like your input on something. I have a female normal head for albino and an albino male. I'll be having an awesome first season. That's great, Jonathan. We're happy for you. If everything works out. But I'm really thinking of getting another female, it's a proven breeder, to breed with my male albino. What you recommend breeding with the male 1100 gram albino? Top 3. I would really like any input. Thanks. Well, Jonathan, we're just going to answer that question right here live. So you're just going to have to keep paying attention to the videos. We're going to do that. This is completely impromptu, so hopefully I don't screw this up. So we're talking about breeding a breeder male albino. Well, if it's a proven male albino and I'm going to breed 3 females to it, since it's an albino, I'm going to want 3 het females. So all 3 of the females I'm going to recommend are going to be heterozygous albino. Actually, take that back. Get 1 visual albino. So you have an albino to albino, and you have a full albino clutch. I love albinos. The next thing I would like is a black pastel het albino. Reason being, you can do black pastel albinos. I think those look really, really good. Third one to go with albino. Okay, check this out. I would look at a candy. Now, candy is kind of one of those dream snakes that are fairly a pricey animal. But if you take an albino to a candy, you're going to get a visual albino to a visual candy, since albino and candy are allelic together, however you're going to pronounce it. But they'll basically act like they're 2 different genes, but they'll work together, kind of like Lesser and Mojave. So what you'll have is candinos. You'll make an entire clutch of candinos, which are really beautiful snakes, and then they can be used to breed for albinos or candies. So that's what I would do: a visual albino, an albino or het albino, black pastel, and a candy. So that would be my top 3, Jonathan. Hopefully that helps. And when I comment on your video, I'm going to tell you to watch future videos because we answered your question while taping. So back to our snakes. Next one to check is our het pied female. You can see she is very, very gravid, very, very cranky. So we're checking every day to lay. And the way you can tell that, I won't mess with her too much, is just how thick she is, especially right there at the back of the tail. She's going to drop eggs probably next week. Our het pied here. And she's also went ahead and built an entire wall up of litter, so she's nesting. We'll come down to our killer bee girl, Electra. As you can see, she's looking good. We'll get our male out of here. Everything else looks pretty good in there. Slide that back halfway closed. Where do you go? You go right here. This male's a jumpy one sometimes, but he's been a good breeder for us. Take a peek at Electra. Just kind of a good chance to really inspect things, see how they're going. Hopefully she produces for us. Alright. Got another male in here to remove. Now that snake, I haven't logged it yet. Because I was in a hurry. I knew I'd remember to log it. Which is bad practice. You should do it right away. But this one also just had its shed today. Nope, I didn't log because I didn't take it out. There it is. I knew I'd seen it. So we'll go ahead and pull her out of the way. This will be her pre-lay shed. I did see her ovulate, so I do know that's what's going on there. We got a turd back there. Yuck. Get rid of the poops. Get rid of a little piece of skin. I kind of muck up her litter a little bit. That way she can have it nice and loose for a little bit of good nesting and spread that humidity around for her. Beautiful. Now, how do I know too she's gravid? You can just look and tell. Look at that. All that through there. So she's going to have a nice clutch for us this year. We'll put her back in. Her clutch will be, her male that we bred her to is actually her offspring. So we're breeding back this year. And that male is a double het. It's het for snow. So it's het albino and het exanthic. Now you can do that with reptiles. You can actually go even sib to sib, but you can't continue to do it. You do have to outcross eventually. This will be the first time we're breeding her to a sibling, or to a, not a sibling, but an offspring. So we should be good there. Another one that's extremely pregnant, starting to nest. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't lay eggs in about the next 3 or 4 days. You can just see how distended she is all the way up through there. Everything's looking really good. She's got her nest built and she's getting restless, which is very, very normal. We won't do much in that cage after she lays. Work our way on down. Another good pairing. Not locked up. That's not unusual this time of year to see them not locked up. That is our pastel het exanthic. Everything's looking good in there. We'll get rid of that little piece of skin. And we're expecting a clutch from her this year too. We'll put back our spider exanthic. He looks a little crappy. He's in shed. Alright, come on down here. Check her out. She's always a good feeder. Got some urate in there. Got a poop. My, you made a mess, girlie. She does that because she's still eating good. She was our last one to lay last year. Probably will be one of our last ones this year. So she's still taking food where a lot of her females aren't. And because of that, she's still messing up her cage. I have seen good signs from her where she has been flipping over and things like that. So all very good. Last but not least, and this is looking really good in here too. And what you're seeing here is a classic example of side laying. You can see how the side's exposed up and she's really swelling through there. So that's a good sign. We're kind of hitting ovulation, I do believe. I also like to check my babies. Just check these little guys out. They tend to poop a lot. This one has like somehow completely emptied its water, which Kurt, the water's right behind you. If you want to pass that to me. Either one will work. And I just bring jugs of water in here. So I've always got water handy, and that way it's easy to, just refill and service a cage. Where I don't have to like take water dishes and run them back every time, And this time of year, humidity gets a little lower, so water evaporates a little bit because the heaters aren't in the house. But, whoa! I know this is none too, here, I'm going to hand you this. I don't want to hand stuff. I know this is none too glamorous, but this is kind of what it is, guys. I mean, we like to show making babies, all that stuff. 90% of what I do is maintenance. It's honest to God and general maintenance. I mean, that's just kind of the name of the game. It's going through, watering, cleaning up poop. It's not glorious at all. So that's kind of like the name of the ball python game. Kurt, you got any questions about that?
How much time do you spend a week in this room taking care of your snakes?
Oh God, I don't know. Like, I've never really kept track of it, and there's a very good reason why I haven't. One, it'd probably depress me. But more so than that even, is this is kind of what I do for self-therapy, you know? So, I don't put necessarily a clock on it. I'm down here every day. Usually I'm down here more than once a day. You know, if I'm checking on eggs, I'll come down in the morning. A lot of times I just peek. If I know I've got eggs coming, I come on my lunch break, I check. As soon as I get home from work, I check, go through everything. Usually one more time throughout the day I come through and go through everything, especially my ones that I know are about to lay. You know, this time of year I come down one day a week and I move all my males over, check their tubs, set them for breeding, you know, and then I move my move them back, and then I have feed day where I'm here on Thursday. So I usually have about 3 days where I'm doing a lot of work in here, and the other days I'm just kind of checking waters and checking for messes and checking for poops. You know, usually the day after feed day, which today is our feed day, I come through. So we feed on Thursday night, and usually Friday evening I'll come through and just make sure nobody had a regurg, you know, or that we don't have any of that. Very, very, very rare do I ever have a regurg. I mean, it's so rare it's not even worth talking about. It's almost non-existent. But I will have a few snakes that will like to take a prey item, constrict a prey item, and you know, we check it, and you got so many in here. You check, hey, it's constricted, the prey item's dead. We put it away. We're done. That's the last check we do for making sure it ate, because we know it can't get hurt because the prey item's been taken care of. But I check the next day, and I'll find that they left the prey item, didn't eat it, and so then you have to deal with that. You know, add litter as needed, do a full tub clean if it's needed. I mean, I can't tell you the exact amount of times. I never track, but it's a good amount of time. You know, and then when we have baby season, we spend more time because I'll have baby racks that are full, everything else that I'm doing. So it's a lot of time. You know, but it's my therapy. It's kind of what I enjoy doing. I'd rather be here than at my day job. Not that I don't like my day job. It's just this is what I really, really enjoy. Kurt, any other questions?
Nope, that's all.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. And I think that answering the question we got on YouTube live was pretty, well I guess it's not live, but recording that was pretty cool. So if you happen to hit me up with a message while we're taping, don't be surprised if I just do that again. Let me know what you guys think, if that's annoying or if you like it. Anyway, we'll catch you next week.